What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I am wrestling with myself. I've got my first wrestling video back since my channel has gotten fixed and all the updates and uploads. If there's anything wrong with the audio or video in these uploads, please let me know in the comments below. But I am back wrestling with myself today. It is WrestleMania weekend. Even though I'm not really a fan of the Raw and SmackDown WWE main roster product at all by any means, I still love all the other wrestling that's going on in the world right now with 205 Live and NXT and PWG and Ring of Honor and the All Elite stuff coming in and Lucha Underground possibly coming back again and MLW and just so much good wrestling right now. So even though the main roster product is not very good, WrestleMania weekend is still a national holiday for us longtime wrestling fans. And this coming Friday, which is 2 days from now at the time of this recording, this Friday is NXT TakeOver New York. They are coming from Brooklyn again. They've got 5 matches. This card is stacked. I'm looking forward to this TakeOver as much as I have any TakeOver in a long time. So let me quickly get to the 5-match card preview and give my predictions. In the opening match we've got for the NXT Tag Team titles, the War Raiders defend against the Dusty Rhodes Classic winners Ricochet and Aleister Black. This should be a barn burner. Ricochet and Aleister Black have been called up to the main roster recently. They've been working as a tag team on, I think, both Raw and SmackDown. They've been tearing it up. They have great chemistry. Black has a nice mix of styles. He's a good striker to mix with Ricochet's high flying. Both guys are very agile. The War Raiders, in spite of being big, burly power guys, also have a big fierce suplex arsenal and are also agile and can high fly as well. This could easily be a show stealer of the entire weekend. Underrated, but I'm looking forward to this match a whole lot. I love all 4 guys. I think the War Raiders retain here because we're going to get several other title changes on this show and at Mania. And I think that Ricochet and Aleister Black obviously are on the main roster now. And now they can go be on the main roster full time. Both are former NXT champions with one belt or another. So I think Ricochet and Black are going up to either Raw or SmackDown full-time, and War Raiders are going to stay there. And they're a full-time tag team where Ricochet and Aleister Black are a makeshift tag team. So I think War Raiders retain here in what should be a very good match. Then we have for the NXT UK Championship, Pete Dunne defends against Walter. This is Pete Dunne's biggest challenger to boot since winning the belt. I think he's had the belt for almost 2 years now. I didn't write down the exact dates, but I know it's well over a year. I think it's maybe even over 2 years. He's had the longest run of any champion right now in any brand in WWE altogether. This should be a fun match. I'm not really a huge Walter fan. I do love Pete Dunne. I think Pete Dunne as a character is great. I think he's one of the most well-rounded and complete wrestlers in the entire roster right now of any brand. I was never a big fan of Walter on the Indies. I have not really seen his work in NXT UK. I admittedly don't watch much NXT UK besides highlights here and there. But I know of Walter. I know of his work. I think these two will gel well. They're both agile. They're both big strikers. They like body part work, joint manipulation. So this could be a very physical, very technical match, which I enjoy that style a lot. So hopefully this one can surprise me. I'm not really expecting too much out of this, but I know it's going to be a fun physical contest. So I think Walter wins this one. Dunne has done all he can do with the belt, so to speak. It's been 2 years. He's fought everyone, beaten everyone. Walter is the hot new hand. It's too soon for Walter to lose, and Dunne has nothing to lose by losing this belt because he's been champion for so long. So I think Walter finally ends the reign here of Pete Dunne and becomes the new NXT UK champion. Then for the NXT North American title. By the way, notice there's only 5 matches on this card, and it's getting so much hype. It doesn't need 15 matches, WrestleMania. Every match here has a championship and has stakes on the line. Every match here means something and is booked well. For the NXT North American Championship, Velveteen Dream defends against Matt Riddle. I want to pick Velveteen Dream here, but I'm not going to. I think Matt Riddle wins the NXT North American Championship here. The belt's been kind of bouncing around a little bit recently. Johnny Gargano took it a few months back, surprisingly kind of quickly because of the storyline with Ciampa. And then Velveteen Dream surprisingly beat Johnny Gargano, and now I have Riddle beating Dream here. So this belt's kind of been the one belt that has not been stable in NXT. It's been bouncing around a lot. But I think Velveteen Dream doesn't necessarily need the belt. His character's so over, and he does so much good mic work and so many good nuances with the character and the storytelling. He's one of the best storytellers in the ring and in storyline in the entire company. Velveteen Dream is over enough where the belt doesn't mean that much for him. And Matt Riddle's still pretty new, even though he did lose a match to Cassius Ohno I think, on the main roster. So he's not undefeated or anything, but he is a newer commodity. They love him big time. I think Vince is really behind Riddle. I think they want to strap the rocket to this guy. So I see him winning here and getting the North American Championship. Riddle's another guy. I was not as big on him in the Indies just because of his character. His wrestling is really good. He has a great look. He has a great body. He has a good, versatile set of suplexes. He's agile. He can strike. He can throw. He can do a lot of things Kurt Angle-esque. But what I don't like is the whole bro character. His mic work sounds really cheesy and lame. His delivery is really fake. His acting is bad. So I don't like Matt Riddle's character, but I do love Matt Riddle's wrestling. And I think Riddle and Dream here. Dream is a really good bumper, and he sells for guys very well. And I think Riddle throwing around Dream and Dream bumping for him, I think this is going to be a fun match to watch. And another match that could easily steal the show for the entire weekend. Looking forward to this match a lot, in spite of me not liking Matt Riddle as a character. I think Matt Riddle does win the North American Championship here and eventually go on to be the NXT World Champion if he stays down in NXT that long, because Vince is apparently pretty high on him. And also, Velveteen Dream has been rumored to be called up now for some time to the main roster, so I would not be surprised if Dream loses the belt here and then goes up to Raw or SmackDown the night after WrestleMania for the big call-ups. You know, they always do like 3 call-ups per brand, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Dream Monday or Tuesday. For the NXT Women's Championship, we've got a fatal 4-way. Shayna Baszler defends against Bianca Belair, Kairi Sane, and Io Shirai. This is another one that could steal the show. 4 very good workers. Sane and Shirai, very similar. Good bumpers and good high flyers. Energetic around the ring. Bianca Belair's got a great character. She's getting better and better in the ring. Her strength is what sets her apart in the ring. And Shayna Baszler, I think, has become one of the greatest heels as a character and as a ring worker. She has this believable style. She works this kind of part Lesnar, part Ronda Rousey kind of style. She doesn't work a regular match. She manipulates body parts. She focuses on taking out one of the arms or whatever it may be. But she works a very secular kind of isolation style, which I really enjoy. It's believable. She gets a lot of mannerisms and heel work over in her matches. I love what Baszler's doing on the mic. I love her look. Everything about Shayna Baszler has been on fire. So 4 ladies that I really enjoy their work, and I think they'll mesh together well here. This one for me is the only one that's really hard to call. I could not really pick a winner in this one. I'm going to go with Shayna Baszler to retain just because we're getting a new world champion tonight. I think we're getting Matt Riddle as the NXT North American champion and Walter as the NXT UK champion. So 3 titles, in my opinion, are going to change hands. So I think they're not going to change all the belts in one night. I think Baszler retains here. But there is a chance that somebody pins somebody else and takes her belt without pinning her, which gives her a good reason to gripe or to go to Raw or SmackDown. But I think Baszler's going to retain here, but I'm not entirely confident in that pick. Then in the main event, the match I'm looking forward to most out of all the matches on this card, another one that could steal the show and the entire weekend. For the vacant NXT World Championship, Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, 2 out of 3 falls. 2 of the best workers and best characters in NXT for the vacant title now that Tommaso Ciampa is injured. This whole storyline with Ciampa and Gargano has been going on for over a year. They recently reunited when Gargano won the North American Championship and Ciampa had the world title. They were tagging together and then Ciampa got hurt, so Gargano took out Ciampa after the match. I think it was leading to those 2 facing off for the world title in this match where Gargano finally would have beaten Ciampa, finally, to win the NXT Championship. But sadly, that storyline did not get a conclusion, and I hope it gets one before they go to the main roster, or they at least keep continuity going to the main roster, because I love that storyline. It's the best told story in all of wrestling right now. But I think Cole and Gargano are going to match up well. Their work is excellent. Gargano is back to being sympathetic babyface. Cole is back to being a demonstrative heel with his group. I think Gargano was set to win the world title with this show against Ciampa, so it makes sense that they would have Cole win it instead of Gargano. They love to throw those little monkey wrenches in the plans. Everyone thinks Gargano is finally going to win the belt, but him beating somebody other than Ciampa wouldn't feel as satisfying. This journey for Gargano he's been on, trying to get back to being good Johnny and Johnny wrestling and making up for his losses and overcoming his dark side, and finally beating Ciampa for the belt, I think was the plan. But since Ciampa's not there, it wouldn't make as much sense for Gargano to do it here. It'd feel like the fans were kind of being cheated if Johnny would beat somebody else for the belt. So I think that having Gargano get this close and still wind up losing to Cole, where he can later beat Ciampa down the road and finish off that storyline, makes sense. So I think Adam Cole gets the monkey wrench here. I think they want to keep the group hot now that O'Reilly and Fish is back from injury, and O'Reilly and Strong are no longer tag champs. So I think Undisputed Era needs something to keep themselves hot as one of the top acts in NXT. So I think that Gargano gets this close like 5 or 6 times, and the 4-on-1 attacks of Undisputed Era actually screw Gargano over. So the sympathetic Gargano gets this close but gets screwed 4-on-1 with no help. So I think Adam Cole walks away as the NXT World Champion in a match that should be awesome. So what are you guys most looking forward to? Which match do you want to see most? How did I do in my predictions, and what are your predictions? Tell me in the comments down below, please. And also, please, if you guys are wrestling fans, check back here tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to upload my 15-match WrestleMania predictions thread where I go over each one of those matches and pick a winner for all those as well. So if you want to see my WrestleMania thread, come back to this channel tomorrow. But tell me in the comments what you think of NXT, and I will talk to you guys soon.